Uh-oh, we've had a bit of an oopsie. For those of you that watched the video on Tuesday, you saw me check out this Supra mod where I showed you just the huge amount of tuning parts that came on this car. Now, just to give a bit of background information, this mod was given to me as a private mod by Devoted Media, and I basically didn't ask many questions about it. I took it upon myself to just assume he made it all and that it was going to be released soon. Turns out that was all wrong. As it turns out, the original models of this car was built by Bigg Boss93 for the game Street Legal Racing Redline. And basically what had happened was that Justin from Devoted Media took those models and he basically played around with them to fit them inside of GTA 5, and he wasn't going to release the mod until he sought permission, if he was able to do that. I didn't obviously know that at the time, and so a lot of you came around on the comments and said that these were stolen. Now, I'm not going to say they were stolen because I don't think there was any ill intent. I think it was just a massive communication error between me and Justin, who ported these models to GTA 5. But he has since got permission, so if he wants to release the mod, he can. But anyway, I just wanted to say sorry, guys, for this massive mix-up, because I know some people thought that I was sort of encouraging stolen content in GTA. It's not really my deal. But as we are here with this car in GTA 5, we can at least still appreciate the work that Bigg Boss93 has done to this Supra, which he apparently has been working on for years, and a lot of this stuff is hand-modelled. And we still haven't seen the most interesting part of this mod. What is the interesting thing? Well, you guys might have spotted it from the names of the mods in the previous video, but basically this car can transform into quite a few other cars. Kind of, sort of, maybe. Let's start off with just going to the front bumper options. And if we scroll down here, as you can see, there are 55 different options. We have all the original sort of tuning parts, which you can see in more detail by checking out the previous video on this. But if we go down, we then have these options. And this is where it gets interesting. I'm going to have to turn these headlights off because the headlights are already in the way. But we can have the front end of a GT86, a 93 Celica, a GT4 version of the Celica, I don't know what year that is, but the next one on. We also have the 04 Celica. We have the SC300. And the most interesting one, the Ferrari F430. Now, some of these are just front end swaps, but some of them are sort of like the whole car swap. So let's take a closer look at this. So let's set this up first of all for the GT86. So first of all, I want to go ahead and change these lights because these are not the right lights. If we go down, we then have the GT86 lights, which are now sort of tucked up away there, which means we now need to change the hood. And again, we've got so many options for this as well, but let's just go for the base GT86 to start. And on the fenders as well, let's go for the GT86 fenders. And now you can see we have a GT86 front end swap for the Toyota Supra. I mean, you guys can tell me what you think. I obviously am a massive fan of the Supra and I love it in its original form, but this sort of option and choice with a car mod is just so insane. I love this. I love the freedom of just making the weirdest sort of car you can have, and well, with this you can definitely have it. So now that we have everything set up, we can actually check out the rest of the front bumpers from the GT86 option. So we have the C West kit, we have the Damo Lip kit, we have the Greddy or G-Ready, however that's supposed to be said, kit with the toe strap on the front as well. And then we have the R-Magic front end with no grille or anything. And then we have the Varus, or the Varis, which is interesting. I'd say out of all the kits from a GT86, I'd say probably the C West one, probably the best. But this Damo Lip one, quite nice as well. Quite like that. So on the bonnet options as well, there were a couple of different ones. We have the standard, then we have the G-Ready one, and then we have the G-Ready in carbon, or the Greddy. Is it Greddy or G-Ready? I've always said G-Ready since I was a kid. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Greddy though. So I'm sure that's going to annoy some of you. But I don't know, I quite like how that looks like that. So that is front end number 1. Let's keep going. 93 Celica bonnet to start with. Then on the front bumper we have, let's just go for the standard 93 Celica one to start with. This is so mad. Then we have the headlight options, so we can have that to match. And then of course we want these wings to match as well. That really elongates that whole front end. Look at how long that looks now. That is mad. I wonder if anyone's actually done these in real life. Be very curious to see. I want to see, does the pop-up headlights work? No, sadly not. They just sort of light up. Wasn't really expecting that to happen, but there you go, just so you guys know. So the other bumper options we have for the 93 Celica is we have the ram bar option, which is very interesting. Then we have the stock version, just V2. I guess that was that a facelift one, or was that the pre-facelift? It does look familiar though. Then we have the Viz Racing or VIS Racing one, and then we have the Top Mix bumper. Oh, that's not too bad. Doesn't really match with the rest. Obviously, we could go ahead and just sort of match it with some skirts that come from another kit, because none of these skirts or anything match with anything, but yeah, you could sort of get that to match, I guess. And then for the hood options, we have Type 1, which is very cool. Then we have Type 2 and Carbon. Now moving on to the GT4 Celica. So let's just go ahead with that bonnet to start with. Let's just go for the fenders. We'll do this in an odd option. GT4, there you go. Then the GT4 lights, and then the GT4 bumper. And there we have the GT4 front end, or just the standard Celica actually with that one, because that's not really a GT4 front bumper. That's definitely standard. So we have V2. Now that's the GT4. There we go. That's more like it. We have two options of that. They seem to be the same though. Then we have the Varis kit, and then we have the C1 kit. Sadly, we didn't have the one with the face. You know that one from the meme? I'll put it on the screen. You guys know what I mean. But then we have all those options. Also making me think, are there high quality versions of these GT4s, these Celicas and everything else that we can modify? Because I definitely want to feature those. But just to show you, there are also some different bonnet options. So we had the stock Celica one. Now we have the GT4 one. Then we have the C1 option. Or we have the C1 in carbon. Very nice carbon texture as well. Pretty cool. So then moving on to the 04 Celica one. Then let's just go for the grille. Change that. Well, that's going to be the lights actually. There we go. There's the Celica front lights. We'll put the Celica front bumper on, and the Celica wings, and there we have the front end of a Celica on a Supra. Another front end swap done. So let's just go ahead, go to front bumper. Let's see what other options we have for this one. Quite a few, it seems. We have the stock, we have the trial front end, we have the Wings West kit, we have the Razzie kit, we have the Pure kit, we have the Kaminari, and then we also have V2, which is I don't know. Is that a standard thing? Is that TRD or something? I don't know. So from those, actually, I'd probably say, I'd tell you what, actually, it is my least favourite Celica. Has to be said. The 04 Celica, for some reason I liked it when it was new, and it did not date well, in my opinion. The older Celicas, I like, especially the GT4 from the previous one that we just shown. I did almost, fun fact, almost bought one when I went to go and buy my Evo. In fact, I went to the garage to check out a Celica, and ended up buying an Evo 6. So that just shows you how close I was to getting a GT4. Obviously, you guys can let me know if I made a good choice or not in the comment section. Yeah, so that is that. Also, I do believe we have some different hood options. Yes, we do. So we have the stock. We have the Viz one. We have the Viz Type 2. And the Viz Type 2 in carbon. So moving on then to the SC300 front end. SC300 lights. So this is going to be a Toyota Supra front end, essentially. And the SC300 stock front bumper. And then the fenders. And there we have the front end of a Toyota Supra or Lexus SC300. That is mad. That actually, out of all of them, this one looks the most like it belongs on this car. I mean, it still doesn't because obviously it's not a Supra, but I guess it's from the same era of Toyota, so could have even been designed by the same person. I'm not entirely sure on that one, but I'd say out of all of them, that one definitely is the most fitting. So there's no different hood options on this one, but we do have some options on the front bumper, of course. So we have the stock, we have the Origin, which is, I've definitely seen quite a few of those kits in my time. We have the Vertex as well, and the Vertex Type 2 with the air intakes there. And then we have the Autoculture one. And I'd definitely say Origin or stock, I'd say is probably my favourite options from those ones. But that is the SC300 front end. And that leaves us with the most interesting mod of all, because this last one is not just a front end swap. It is a full car conversion. I know some of you guys are probably aware of this. I didn't actually know. I'm gonna Google this. If this is real, there'll be a picture on the screen right now. If someone has actually built a Supra to make it look like an F430, but I do know that people used to make the Toyota MR2, the SW20, into a Ferrari 360. And so it's not out of the realms of possibility that someone might have done that with a Supra, but you can now do that with this mod. And that is how we're going to do this final build. So let's just go down here. I'm going to go for the front bumper, F430. I will check out the Scuderia one in a little bit. Now, we also have on the spoiler option, nothing, because it is part of something else further on. So if we go to the rear bumper, we can go ahead, we can change this to this. On the skirts, we have the option down here, Ferrari F430, adds that little bit just there. Then we have on the exhausts, we do actually have some options to have the right exhaust on this one. There we go, in the proper placement. On the front lights, here we go, put that to F430 right there. On the hood, we can change that to F430. It's starting to come together, guys. Then on the fenders, F430, and then on the rear, here we go. Look at that. And all we have to do now is change the lights. So I can go back up here, go to Benny's Love Mods, go to Ice, which is actually just the rear lights, Ferrari F430. And now we have a full Ferrari F430 kit for the Mark IV Toyota Supra. This thing is strange. And of course, we also have the Scuderia option. So we can go down here, put the Scuderia front end. That definitely looks a lot better, I think, the Scuderia. And we can do the same on the back. Oh, that's so much better. So much better looking. On the exhaust, we can then have the matching exhausts where they should be. And then all we've got to do now, sadly we don't actually have any stock Ferrari wheel options. If we do, it's probably lost somewhere with all the other custom wheels that I've got, and I'm never going to see them, I don't think. So I guess I'll just have to try and find some wheels that would match, which would probably be something like this. I mean, they're not exact, but most of these wheels end up being deep dish, which doesn't really suit the original if we try to make this look like the original Scuderia, because that definitely didn't have deep dish wheels. Actually, maybe these would perhaps be the closest. They're not as great looking, but I think they are the closest to the original Scuderia wheels. And I'll put those into something like stone silver or something like that, or default if that's going to be brighter. Yeah, we'll go for default. We can then, using the power of V-Stancer, go to tires. We can make these wheels look a bit more like the real size, which might be around there, I think. Maybe a bit more on the width. Actually, that's probably fine as it is. And then we can go ahead. I think the front end's probably about right there. And then on the rear, we can just bring that out so it matches a bit more. And that seems to be as best as we can really get it, considering this isn't actually a Scuderia. This is just a Supra with a Scuderia kit on it. It's an interesting take. It's the first of its kind of seen, actually. I don't think we've actually had a car mod where it's had this level of changing it to make it look like something else. But I'm always a fan of that. I'm always opening to these sort of ideas. And this is fantastic. I think it's great. Although some of you guys will probably think it looks silly, the idea itself, I think, is awesome. I know you guys probably want me to stance this, or you don't want me to stance it, and it's for that reason that I'm actually going to go ahead and stance it now. Because, of course, we've got to do that. It's a Figureight video. What are you expecting? Oh, these wheels are great. And we can make it something not Ferrari coloured. Oh, actually, that red is deep Ferrari. That's like super bright Ferrari. That is intense. Matching color wheels? Why not? So we'll get those back up to size, and let's just go for some camber. Oh, you guys love it. You know you love it. There we go. And on the front as well, get some camber. And actually, let's just tuck that in on the front, slam it, just do something really just sacrilege. Oh, there we go. Again, I just want to apologize for the whole confusion with this whole thing. I know some people weren't really happy about that in the previous video, but this original model, as it was made by Bigg Boss93, is fantastic. And Justin from Devoted Media has also done a great job on porting these models over to GTA 5, because that is no mean feat in itself. But that's it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and actually let me know what you think about kit cars. Is it cool if someone turns an MR2 into a Ferrari, or is it lame because they're pretending it to be something that it's not? You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But that is it. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.